Before we start today's show, just want to thank all of the faithful for continuing to support everything that we do right here on the 49ers Report. Without all of you, this wouldn't be possible, surpassing 77,000 subscribers. So for those of you who love the Niners and you want free content that's both informative, that will make you smarter, and involves you, the people, subscribe and lock us in today. And a reminder here, make sure you join us on Sunday for our NFC Championship game watch party. Our pregame show will start 2 hours before kickoff. We'll be playing beer pong. We'll be previewing the star-studded matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles, taking your questions, interacting with the faithful. Going to be a lot of fun. It all starts 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific. It's going to be a dual stream on Eagles Now as well as the San Francisco 49ers Report, because we figured, why not? If the Niners and Eagles are competing on the field at Lincoln Financial Field for the right to go to the Super Bowl, we're going to compete here together at Chat Sports. Make sure you get ready to talk some shit. So the stage is set for this NFC Championship game. It's a heavyweight bout, like Mike Tyson going up against Muhammad Ali if they were to meet in the boxing ring. That's pretty much what we have here. Two stacked rosters, two really successful organizations. Philadelphia, the home team. Because of that, they're 2.5-point favorites. The over-under here set for 46.5. Kickoff set for 3 o'clock Eastern time, 12 o'clock on the West Coast. And as for how the Eagles got here, these have been two teams on different trajectories this year, because the Niners came out of the gate slipping and struggling. They were a little bit sluggish, whereas the Eagles, they were white hot. Started off the year 8-0. Set a franchise record with 14 wins, won the NFC East, and got that number 1 seed. And in the playoffs in the divisional round last Saturday, took down the New York Giants by blasting their division rival 38-7. As for San Francisco, they finished 1 game behind Philadelphia. But they started the year 3-4 with a couple of maddening, confusing losses early in the year. That epic rant that I had after the Broncos game. Could you believe that Kyle Shanahan at one point lost to Matt Eberflus? He lost to Nathaniel Hackett and Arthur Smith, but after getting blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco has reeled off 10 consecutive victories. They won the division title, got the number 2 seed, which is why they're on the road against Philly, and in the playoffs, took down Seattle in dominating fashion, also beat the Dallas Cowboys. And for a football fan, this is exactly the matchup that you want to see. If you're a football nerd, you will be nerding out all throughout the afternoon on Sunday, because there are so many good players that you will have the pleasure of watching. Trent Williams is legitimately the best left tackle in the game, one of the best to ever do it, and a future Hall of Famer. Christian McCaffrey is a 2-time All-Pro. This year had nearly 2,000 all-purpose yards. Deebo Samuel was an All-Pro last year. Brandon Aiyuk, I think, is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. George Kittle, another potential future Hall of Famer. The same can be said for Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Dre Greenlaw played at an All-Pro level this year. Talanoa Hufanga was an AP All-Pro. And Jimmie Ward was named a top 100 player by his peers heading into this year. Going to have a big matchup for him going up against Dallas Goedert and some of the other weapons on this Eagles offense. And then you go to the Philadelphia sideline. Jalen Hurts, MVP caliber season. Miles Sanders was a top 5 back this year. A.J. Brown, nearly 1,500 receiving yards. Devontae Smith was also excellent. Dallas Goedert, right up there with George Kittle as far as the best all-around tight ends in the sport. Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, like Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, potential future Hall of Famers. Hassan Reddick, 16 sacks this year. Brandon Graham had 11, and Darius Slay, a lockdown corner for Philly this year. So you look at the contrasting styles of play and how the strengths for both of these teams kind of counteract what one another likes to do, and then all of the talent on the field. Who do you think comes out with the victory? My final score, my prediction, 31-28 San Francisco. Let us know who you got down below. We do have some super chats coming in. Wow. Bang. John Aiello, $62 super chat. Huge one coming in from John. Appreciate that, my guy. Mike Huncho with the $10 super chat. We'll, of course, answer your super chat calls on the menu coming up after this segment. Toby Willis, $5 super chat. He sent us in that Niners motorcycle helmet. He's sending us something else for our watch party on Sunday. He said it's different. The best giveaway for you guys. Toby, I can't wait for that. Going back to our preview here between Philadelphia and San Francisco, let's continue to really talk about how these two styles go up against one another so well and how evenly matched these football teams are. Like, you look position by position, right? Quarterback, Philadelphia. Running back, San Francisco. Tight end, slight edge for San Francisco. Wide receiver, slight edge for the Niners. Offensive line, edge goes to Philadelphia. Defensively, defensive line, slight edge to the Eagles probably because of their sack production. Linebackers, it's the Niners. Cornerbacks, probably Philadelphia. Safety, probably San Francisco. So that's like a 50-50 split right there. And then you look at what the Eagles do well offensively, basically everything. Against what the Niners do well defensively, pretty much everything. This is a clash here that could be historic in all time. And which position group, or which side of the ball, I should say, is going to rise up to the occasion in the biggest of spots outside of playing in a Super Bowl, right? For this year, Philadelphia, their offense was unconscious. Led by the MVP candidate in Jalen Hurts, they averaged nearly 29 points per game. That was second in the NFL. They put up nearly 400 yards. That was third in the league. Their points per play ranked third. Third down conversion rate, which is a huge statistic in this game. Can the Niners defense get off the field on some of those money downs? Philadelphia converted and moved the chains on about 47% of those attempts. That ranked third. Fourth down conversion rate, they were fourth. Another huge statistic on top of the third downs, it's the red zone touchdown scoring percentage. This means that every time that Philadelphia got into the red area, 20 yards to the goal line, they scored a touchdown and put 6 points on the board nearly 69% of the time. Their touchdowns per game, nearly 4. That's outrageous. Number 1 in the NFL, and their yards per rush at number 10. So you look at those numbers, take a mental screenshot with what the Niners do defensively. Eagles, best scoring offense in the NFL, arguably, right? Whether it goes by the data or the eye test, San Francisco, number 1, 16 points per game in an offensive-heavy era. Yards per game, number 1. Points per play, number 1. San Francisco third down defense. Here's where it starts to get a little bit iffy. Niners ranking 16th. Their red zone scoring percentage allowed, 20th in the NFL, but they don't give up a lot of touchdowns. So you have San Francisco's defense giving up sub 2 touchdowns per game against the Eagles, who this year have averaged nearly 4 touchdowns per game. Yards per rush for the Niners, 3.2. That's second in the NFL, whereas Philadelphia, one of the top rushing offense, they ran for nearly 270 rushing yards last week against the Giants. Rushing yards per game, Niners at number 2, all led by Nick Bosa through the air and on the ground with his pass rush and ground defense. 18.5 sacks this year. So what is going to give? We'll see come Sunday. That's why I'm so excited for this football game. Now, the 49ers Report today is presented by Magic Spoon. $5 off your order if you head to magicspoon.com/chat with the promo code chat. Magic Spoon, the revolutionary cereal that's changing the game. Say goodbye to sugary processed cereals and hello to delicious, nutritious options that will power you throughout the day. Magic Spoon is the perfect choice for anyone looking to start the new year off on the right foot to get your diet right. Sugar just isn't good for you. And with a variety of flavors to choose from like cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter, you'll never get bored either. And with only 140 calories per serving, it's a guilt-free breakfast option. But the best part, Magic Spoon is loaded with 13 to 14 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, making it the perfect choice for those following a keto or gluten-free diet. And with the 100% happiness guarantee, you have nothing to lose by giving it a try. Order your own personalized Magic Spoon variety pack and save $5 off by using the code CHAT at magicspoon.com/chat, or you can scan the QR code that we've been showing you. Trust us, you won't regret it. Start your day off right today with Magic Spoon. $5 off at magicspoon.com/chat with the promo code CHAT. We know that this 49ers offense is stellar, right? Well, how about what the Eagles defense can do? Another reason why these two teams really complement one another in terms of their overall talent level. You look at some of the best ratings here, some of the best statistics, offensively, defensively, on both sides of the ball for both of these teams. They're all pretty much top 5 in several categories. Philadelphia was first in pressure rate, so Shanahan's going to have to protect Brock Purdy, draw up some plays for him to get rid of the football, and don't go overly conservative, too. So there has to be a balancing act in that way. First in yards per play allowed is Philadelphia's defense this year. First in passing defense, first in yards per pass attempt, first in tackles for loss as they are destructive behind the line of scrimmage, and first in opponent negative plays, which goes to that latter point that I just made. So those are some of my keys to the game. What is your biggest solo single key to the game? Join the conversation down below in the comment section and make sure you sound off. As for turnovers, they're going to be key in this game. Brock Purdy hasn't really turned the football over yet all that much, and we can take a look at his numbers if that's okay to back up the supporting talking point. But the 49ers are 0-4 this year when they lost the turnover battle, and they have a huge discrepancy in losing the turnover differential on the road as compared to at home. So much better at home, whereas the Eagles, when they lose a turnover battle, 3-2. With the Eagles' pressure rate, pressure percentage, and them having a league-high 70 sacks this year, can they get to Brock Purdy? Will they fluster him, and will they force a turnover? A back-breaking turnover could be the deciding factor in this game. As of right now, so far in 8 Game 7 starts, Purdy has not turned the pill over. He hasn't put it on the carpet. He hasn't put it in the awaiting arms of defensive players. He's 7-0 this year. He's exceeded all expectations wildly. He's played 8 games, even against the Dolphins when he replaced Jimmy G. I thought he was awesome. 16 touchdowns to 3 picks, completion percentage of 67.1, and San Francisco with Brock Purdy at the helm, averaging 32.5 points per game. Now, if you want to continue to talk about this game all throughout the week or even interact with me during the offseason, whenever that comes, make sure you hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Going back to that turnover point, we're doing some deep dive analytical look here at what turnovers mean in a game of this magnitude. The 49ers average nearly 21 points per game, 20.7 to be exact, with 1 or fewer turnovers by the defense. San Francisco averages more than 30 points per game when the defense forces 2 or more turnovers. The Eagles average 28 points per game with 1 or fewer turnovers by the defense. Philadelphia averaging 29 points per game with 2 or more. So San Francisco, nearly a 10-point difference between when it's 1 or fewer turnovers forced by the defense to 2 or more. So for both teams, ball security going to certainly come at a premium. And it doesn't just come down to Brock Purdy. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, everybody offensively. Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. Protect the football at all costs. Toby Willis with the $5 super chat. He has a little bit of a concern here. I'm a little bit worried about covering A.J. Brown. I was at the game when they played Tennessee, and he went off. That was the Thursday night game last year where Jimmy Garoppolo was awful at the end of the game and in the red zone. Just awful. A.J. Brown did go off in that game. He was terrific. He was unstoppable. The 49ers did have Emmanuel Mosley then, but Josh Norman was getting a lot of run. So even though Emmanuel Mosley's out, Charvarius Ward and Deommodore Lenoir probably better than the cornerback duo that San Francisco had last year, but I'll continue to say this because Niner fans know all about it. A.J. Brown is very close to the next thing and the best next thing coming from like Terrell Owens because he could go up and get the 50-50 ball. He can pick up yards after the catch. He's really difficult to bring down like a Deebo. Not quite as fast and elusive as Deebo, but that similar element to his game. And this guy's just an athletic freak, very much like Terrell Owens. Red zone threat, taking the top off of the defense, getting vertical. He can do it all. Curtis Thompson with this. What's up, Curtis? Bad records break on Sunday. First rookie quarterback to win a conference championship game. Quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, there have been 4 rookies to start a conference title game. They are 0-4. Brock Purdy is the 5th to start a conference championship game. Can he be the first one to win it? To buck that trend and make that number 1-4. TFL Slayer, Brock Purdy or Jimmy G? I say Purdy all the way. Yeah, Purdy's played better. He's been the better quarterback as compared to Jimmy G. Even when Jimmy was on the field this year, this offense has been better with Purdy. His athleticism has added something else to this offense that Garoppolo didn't have. He's had deep ball accuracy and taken the top off of the defense, which Garoppolo did not do, as Jimmy G really lives in between the numbers, in between the hashes. But Purdy has kind of dispersed the football a lot. And when Garoppolo was playing, where was George Kittle in the witness protection program? With Purdy, Kittle's gone off. Niner 63. Any news of Charles Omenihu? Yes, he's expected to play on Sunday. Kyle Shanahan said we're going to let the legal process play out. We've done our research. The NFL did not levy a suspension upon Charles Omenihu, so it looks as though he's going to be good to go with his career-high 4.5 sacks. He had 2.5 and a fumble force against Seattle in the first round of the playoffs. John Wallace, looking at these stats this game, it could be true to the eye and the scoreboard. When we hold close or just a tad above those numbers. So John Wallace with analysis right there. Do appreciate that, John. Kyle, what will the X factor be for the Niners in order to win? Can their offensive line hold up against the Eagles' pass rush? Can the 49ers' defensive line control the game against the best offensive line in football? In terms of individual X factors, I think Jawan Jennings is a huge X factor in this game. Jimmie Ward going to have to play a big role against the Eagles receivers as well as Dallas Goedert. He's defended tight ends really well in the past. He's going to have to do it once again. And can you contain Jalen Hurts within the pocket and not allow him to come through with some back-breaking play with his legs to move the chains when you do everything else right, because that takes the breath out of the defense. So what's your level of confidence in the Niners here? H for high, L for low. John Galt, maybe you're going to type H for high, right? Let us know in the comments section. Jason Kalinko, H for high. The real ones know. Appreciate all of you for watching the show.